In this video, I'm going to show you how to defend each bomb site on Villa. Let's get into it. Alright, for the first site, Aviator / games room, the first thing you want to do is reinforce this wall and put head holes right here. Then you want to reinforce the vault wall, then reinforce both bar walls, and this is where it kind of becomes preference. You could reinforce both of these walls, just one of them. I like to do just this one and then make head holes right here and then make a rotate right there, like I'll show you in a second. But then you got to make head holes right here. And you can line them up, so if you make head holes on this wall and then go to the side, then you'll shoot both of them at the same time. And then next you want to make head holes right here across the entire wall and then make a rotate at the bottom of this point. And also for the head holes right here, I like to make them a little bit bigger so that you actually can vault through them. It's not necessarily for the vaultable rotate, it's so that you can throw C4s or smokes to the default plant. And then for this side of the room, reinforce each of these corner walls and make footholds on next to each reinforcement. Now this right here is kind of preference. You could reinforce this wall and then make a rotate here, so anybody that's playing over here can rotate back to site easier. But for me, usually I just like to make the footholds here because it's still easy to rotate back to site. As long as you have someone covering trophy side, then you'll be good. The next thing I want to talk about is your shield placement and your barbed wire placement over by main stairs. First thing, when you place down your shield, place it down right here. And make sure you have a gap between this little dresser thing and the shield, because then if someone places a Jaeger here, which you're going to need a Jaeger or a Mai, then it'll actually protect the shield. Whereas if you had it like this, right in line with the dresser, if you put a Jaeger right here, it's not going to protect the shield at all, and you're still going to get naded. And now for your barbed wire placement, make sure you're placing your barbed wires at the bottom of the staircase, not right here or up here or anything like that, because if you put them at the bottom, you're actually going to get sound calls. So once they hit like right here, they're going to be hitting the barbed wire, and then you'll be able to look over. But if the barbed wire is on the top of the stairs, by the time they make it up to here, they can already kill the guy with the shield. So just make sure you're placing the barbed wire at the bottom. Also, if a Jaeger wants to play over here, anybody wants to play over here, you can place a Jaeger device or a Mai right here so they can't get naded, and they can safely play main stairs, and two people can be holding off the study walk-in. And just to go through why I made most of these holes in sight. So right here, it's very easy to walk into study if there's no head holes right here. Like if I were to just walk into study, right? If no head holes are right here, all you have to worry about is this door and main stairs. So if someone's, smart enough, they can have one guy watch this and then just peek this or nade this shield, whatever. If they've cleared out the Jaegers or the Wamais and stuff, they burnt all that, then they can just nade this shield. But if you have these head holes and you have someone playing them, as soon as they try to walk in, boom, peek out, and it's a free kill. As long as you don't expose yourself for too long, because then they could pre-fire you, or they could be just holding an angle onto you. So just kind of peek a little bit and then come back in, and then if they make it through, the person playing with the shield should kill them. Also, roaming is very important on this site. I would say have two roamers over by trophy side, maybe one playing downstairs near red so he can rotate up red if he needs to, and one playing trophy side, because this is very crucial map control. If you have no one over here and they just like take all this area, they take all this map control, they can just walk through 90, right, and just collapse on the site, which is why I also like to fill this place with traps. Like I like to play Thorn on this site and have Thorns on like right here and over in this whole area of 90. So if the roamer goes down, you get sound calls on where they're going next. And yeah, the reason why you put footholds on these walls is just create pressure. If you do give up 90 control, then they basically have to sprint by, or they're going to get shot if they try to slowly walk by. And what I would recommend for the wall denial operator is to place either his mute jammer here or her Cade or bandit, whatever. Place it on that wall and both bar walls, because these are the most important. If you open up this wall with like ace, then they kind of can't really play it as well. I mean, you can use this wall right here and swing out, but that's not as good as if you were to play it like this. And these two walls, it's just if they take more map control, like if they take control of 90 and they get this open, then they can just come into site and plant and hold off while the person plants, and it'll be free. So put your wall denial on this wall and this wall. And yeah, that's how you fend Aviator and games room. All right, now for trophy / statue, just reinforce these two walls. And it's optional whether you want to reinforce this last wall or make head holes. I say if you have Cade, just reinforce this and Cade this whole wall off so that it's harder for them to just open up site, because you're going to be watching this either way. But if you have bandit, you have to use 3 bandits on this and all, like it's harder to defend it. So I'd say if you have Cade, then reinforce this and Cade it off. The next thing you want to reinforce is in bathroom. Reinforce this middle wall and either make footholes right here or reinforce this wall. I like to make footholes right here. Now, some people like to make head holes, but let's say you're rotating in from Astro and you're holding an angle onto like Master or whatever. Then you can easily be shot in the head. As soon as I enter right here, I'm shot in the head by someone on that window from if I make head holes. It's harder for them to see your feet right here. I don't think they can see your feet right here. Whereas if you had head holes, they could easily see your head. And if they try to jump in, you can easily shoot their legs and then move up and shoot their body when they try to jump in. The next thing is make head holes right here. This is very crucial because you can hold an angle onto master window. The next thing in trophy, make sure you reinforce this middle wall, and this other wall you can either make footholes or reinforce it off. I'd say most of the time in ranked, especially if you're in like a duo, trio queue, whatever, just reinforce this off, because if no one's playing back here and you try to lay down to shoot somebody, because that's the main reason why you want to use these footholes, laying down and shooting somebody, your whole back is exposed. So I would just recommend just reinforcing it if you're not really coordinated with your team. But make sure you make a rotate right here. The next thing is come into Astro and make head holes on this wall so that you can hold master door easily. And that's another thing about these head holes. You can be shot from window, master window, if you have the head holes right here. So just keep that in mind. And the last thing I'll talk about is your shield placement. So there's 3 spots you could place your shield. One being right here onto the master window. And make sure you don't place it in the doorway, because then, like I said, the Jaeger can't defend it. So yeah, this is the first one. You're basically holding off master and the other window if they try to jump in. The next spot is in closet, and I would only recommend running this if you're using Tachanka or smoke. And you basically just place your shield down right here, or about right there, and hold off the windows like I said, but you can use your smokes. And the only thing you got to worry about is your back right here. But your teammates can hold this first of all through the footholes, and you'll have a Jaeger device or a mine here, so you'll be safe from nades. Because if you get right up on it, they can't shoot you. So they either have to hop in and die, or you know, just leave. And for roaming, it's basically just the same thing as last time. Have like 1 or 2 people roaming off site, have them cover like study, main stairs, 90, and maybe 1 guy downstairs pulling off flanks if needed. And yeah, that's it. All right, now onto dining/kitchen. The first wall you want to reinforce is this single wall on pantry. Then come reinforce this single wall right here, this wall in China, these 3 walls, and the 2 memorial walls. The first thing I want to talk about when it comes to footholes and stuff, 100% you want to make footholes right here, but it's optional to not reinforce this wall and make footholes all across it. And then you can castle this off, castle both of these off. And so they pretty much can't walk in. Also throw a proximity alarm right here. So you'll know if they're there, you can look at the footholes, and it just basically makes this entire laundry place just kind of hard to enter. Also, I would recommend castle just putting a proximity alarm in here and castling this off, then using his last castle on this door right here, and then come and make head holes on this entire wall, because you can hold the laundry door, pantry, and all this stuff from here as long as you know that red is clear. Make sure you make a rotate on each side of both of these walls, basically so you can just swing out and shoot anybody in here, and it goes for both sides. And for roaming, I would recommend having someone upstairs kind of cutting off a vertical play, actually maybe 2 people, and then you could also have someone playing in mudroom/library and living and just holding down this area, because there isn't very much spaces to hold down in sight. So I'd recommend having 3 people off site. You really only need like 2 people to hold down site, because the only ways they can push in is through laundry, memorial, or pantry. Those are super easy to hold down, especially if you have castles and proximity alarms and smokes and all this stuff. And basically if they try to play vertical, then you got your roamers, and yeah, that's how you defend kitchen/dining. All right, that's the end of the video, but don't leave yet, because I just want to ask y'all if you could follow my TikTok or my Twitch. It'd be very, very appreciated, because I want to get my TikTok to 1,000 followers, and then I can start streaming on TikTok and Twitch. But yeah, that's basically it. If you enjoyed or learned anything, leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and peace. Bye bye.